First, I'm going to start by saying the word abortion. There, I said it. But I want to diverge a second. I thank everybody who served. The reason I want to diverge is that these issues that affect our men and women's service are very personal to me. I mean, I had a son who served. He will not. He never did or will need an abortion. But here's what I remember: is when he signed up. He signed up to go to Officers of Canada School in the Marines. But I remember talking to him when he first went in, and the pride and the excitement. This kid even enjoyed ironing his uniform, and he just and I think that type of attitude and patriotism is true of most all of the young men and women who go into the military, and so including the women who are going to be affected by this bill. And this bill is an assault on the women, the service women of this country. First, Mr. Calvert, just with all due respect, my mother used to have this saying, which is, you can stand on your head and spit wooden nickels. I don't know if anyone ever heard of that, but you can stand on your head and spit wooden nickels. But I am telling you that the Republican bill cut $47 million out of the office that is supposed to protect men and women from sexual violence in the service. And that's a fact. We have added $46 or $47 million to the budget on top of the president's budget for the last 4 years. And I just say it is not a good look. The reason I bring it up, it is not a good look to cut the funding in that office and at the same time basically trapping women in states where they can't have access to abortion. And I'm going to ask Mr. Pocan to help me. This is really going to make the point, everybody. I want you to look at this map. Take a look. The states that are in brown or dark red, those are all the states that restrict abortion or ban abortion. And look at those black dots. Those are all the military bases in the country. Take a look at that. So when you say, oh, it's so easy to get an abortion, no. If you are in, look, any of these states that are darkened, and you are a woman who do not want to complete your pregnancy, where do you go? No, even if you have near death or rape or whatever, you're raped, you can't just walk in and get an abortion on your base. It's illegal in that state. And you know what? The doctors are fleeing from those states. The clinics are closing in those states. And so that is why the president's policy is so humane. Because you can see there are about 200,000 active women in the military. Some of them at one point may live and work in any one of those bases in those states. So, and it's been said, and I'll say it again. Obviously, men and women in uniform and their families do not control where they are stationed. And due to the nature of military service, they're frequently required to travel or move to meet operational requirements. And just to repeat what one of my colleagues said, if I would have showed you this map a year ago, we're getting at the anniversary of Dobbs, you wouldn't see all those darkened states. You would see in state after state where a woman could have access to an abortion. So the Department of Defense made the correct and moral decision to establish travel and transportation allowances for service members and dependents to travel to access non-covered reproductive health care. That is what they call it, non-covered reproductive health care. And as been said, if it's an abortion, the member is required to pay for themselves. So the Biden rule ensures that service members and their families are afforded the time and flexibility they need to make private healthcare decisions, and ensures that service members are able to access abortion regardless of where they are stationed. And this bill undermines all of that. This bill undermines that rule. So I'm going to conclude with this, Madam Chair. All women, including service women, should have the right to make their own personal decision about when and if they want to start or grow a family without interference from politicians. Our service women, like the men, they leave their home, their families, their friends to serve their nation. They train hard. They have patriotic dreams. Ms. Mang, will you give me some of your time? Thank you.
What?
They train hard.
What happened?
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Chair. Ms. Mang.
Oh, yes, I just said that your time is expired.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To Ms. Frankel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You have to be recognized.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I'd like to yield time to Ms. Frankel.
You're recognized.
All right, I'm finishing up, really. I should say, I'm finishing up here. Okay, listen, now this is a serious point I want to make. Our service women, like the men, they leave their homes, their families, and friends to serve our nation. Some are willing to risk their lives. They train hard, folks. They have patriotic dreams and goals that should not be blocked, depending upon what state they serve in. We trust them with our Black Hawks, logistics, special ops, and we should trust them to make their own personal decisions whether or not to continue a pregnancy. They stand up for our freedom, and we should stand up for theirs. And with that, I yield back.